Are you dating? Why are you dating? Why are you in that relationship? Are you ready for marriage? These are good questions that I challenge ladies and gentlemen to frequently ask themselves, because dating these days has become more like a game. And actually, some people say it's a dating game. So today I date you, I have fun, I enjoy, and when I get bored, I move on to the next catch. And I repeat the same thing, because at the end of the day, dating, after all, is just a game. So some say. Others say, well, I want to try this thing out. I'm not sure what it's all about. And it may work. It may never work. It can materialize to something. It may never materialize, but I'm just checking it out, you know. And when you're in that place, those two positions are not very good, not very interesting. Because then you realize time is being wasted, days are moving, years are moving, and you're not sure what exactly this is all about. Please be wary of time wasters. If someone has dated you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you've never met his friends, you've never met any of his relatives, and even when you try to introduce the discussion of, so what next, they're either quiet, they don't give you clear answers to it. Be wise, be smart. You are not really glued in that relationship. You still have a chance to move on with your life, regardless of how much time you've wasted. To my third category of those that are dating, they are those that get into dating and they have a clear objective of, I want this thing to work out, with a clear objective of the end result walking down the aisles. So if that's the category that you are in, now walk with me this journey. Are you ready for marriage? Are you ready for marriage? Because then for sure you've confirmed that your dating game is not just a game, it's a serious thing, it's a serious affair. And you're not just walking with a time waster, you're walking with someone with an objective. So you yourself, I want you to ask yourself this critical question. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for marriage? Because marriage is not child's play. Marriage is a serious thing, man. It's a serious thing. That's why when you're taking your vows on your wedding day, the pastor asks the critical question. Have you thought about it? Have you taken time to think about it? Even before you start taking the vows. And what do people respond? They say, yes, I have taken time to think about it. Then come in the vows, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. Let me add, in good moments, in bad moments. Vows in marriage is not a contract that you can sign out and sign in as you will or when you want. A covenant is a serious thing that you need to think through. Back to my question. So you're sure you're ready for marriage, right? I want to ask you this question. Have you checked on your goals, the two of you? Have you checked out your goals? Are they aligning? Are your goals aligning? Now listen, I'm not saying you simply have similar goals, like I want to be a doctor or a pharmacist, or I want to own a big hospital in the near future, or I want to... No. One might desire to be a pharmacist, one might want to be a lecturer at one of the universities in the near future. But the point is, once your goals are put on the table and you've had that discussion, do you seem to be moving in the same direction? Now, let me give you a good example. When vehicles are on the superhighway, you have different models on that superhighway, right? The beauty is each vehicle sticks to their lane. And so that avoids a lot of commotion. By the end of the day, they're either moving out of town or into town through the superhighway. Now, your goals might be different, but are you headed in the same direction? Are they aligned? Are they moving in the same direction? At some point, they might intersect. And that's okay. But are they aligned? Good question. Question number 2. Do you feel like you're being real and authentic when you're with this person? Because at times you find people having to work so hard to be something else that they are not, or to bring out the image of someone else who they are really not. Listen, I've heard of ladies who are trapped that they can't actually wake up late more than their spouses once they go into marriage, because their spouses are used to seeing them wearing makeup, so they have to wake up an hour before, put on their makeup, wait until their spouse goes to bed to be able to remove their makeups. For crying out loud. Be real. Are you ready to be real? Do you show up for some dates without even that makeup and you feel okay? Because you see, in marriage, you've got to be you. So when you're going for those dates and you're feeling like, now I think I'm ready for marriage, that's the second question I want you to ask yourself. Am I being real? Am I being me? Can I tell this person, I think what you're talking about needs to be assessed further? Or are you there just to rubber stamp and say, okay, I think that's okay? And they float another suggestion like, that's good. Sometimes questioning an idea and a suggestion does not mean that you disrespect the person or you don't value the person. Actually means you are so much interested in being part of this idea and your idea also being synchronized. Am I saying that it has to be your way or the highway? No. Then again, that's not a sign of maturity. You've got to be also open enough, once you put your suggestion on the table, to realize that it can be taken or not taken. It can be synchronized into the bigger picture, and the two of you can work together. So even do you have the stamina to say no to a suggestion or an idea without necessarily being rude? Remember, being authentic is about being firm. Is being real, being you, being firm, and not being really arrogant. The next thing I would want to ask you is, have you worked around and seen whether the two of you are putting effort into that relationship? What do I mean? Are you the only person who does the calls? The only person who does the suggestions, comes up with the suggestions, the planning, who comes up with the follow-up calls, hi, how are you, and everything? No. Check that out. I mean, if you're the only one doing the calls, or if you're the only one receiving the calls, and you better be real to yourself, you need to think again whether you're truly ready for marriage or to be married to this person. The last thing I would want to ask is, are the two of you working towards a glorious wedding, a glamorous wedding, a wedding that we will all of us talk about for the next probably 24 hours? Having everything perfectly put in place, the cake, the decor, the gown, the suit, the dance moves. Is that what is on your mind? Or are the two of you working towards laying a good foundation for your marriage? Because what needs to be thought through is, what next after the 6 hours? I've not seen a wedding that goes for more than 12 hours. Let's give it a maximum of 8 hours. After 8 hours, what next? What efforts are the two of you putting towards now the marriage? Have you even discussed about probably premarital classes? Have you discussed, even very informally, how your future life would look like? Because sometimes you can get caught up in doing so much preparation for the 12 hours, for the 6 hours of your glamorous day, and forget that you need to have put extra effort for the rest of your life that you have to live with this person. So is your partner also looking at ways of and opportunities and chances of learning and acquiring the proper foundation for marriage while you're dating? Now, those are some of the few things that I can throw to us today as a challenge to assess whether you are truly ready for marriage or you still need some good time to evaluate yourself and to make up your mind. I want you to remember, marriage is a serious affair. Marriage is not for children. Marriage is not an emotional garage. And marriage is for two consenting adults. Finally, marriage is God's idea. It's not a man's invention. He is the one who said a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. So since the inventor knew and has the manuscript of what he desired, should you go into marriage and encounter some challenges, guess what? This is the secret I want to unfold to you. He that invented marriage, you can go back to him and let him know your care and your concerns, and is able to show you the way and to lead you along the way and the path. Because we need to come to the place where now marriages are working, and marriage is work. Marriage will not just work or you wake up and sleep and things are moving and things are working. So that's what I'm saying. Please assess yourself. Are you sure you're ready for marriage? Are you sure you want to get into the space called marriage? Are you emotionally ready? If there's baggage you need to work on, please work on it. If there's any baggage you need to work on it. Are there previous hearts that you need to polish and work on? Please visit that also. Then once you have assessed yourself and checked out whether the two of you are reading from the same script, then you can comfortably say that you are ready for marriage. God bless you.